Taxi, and I have the wrong kind of display on here for Taxi, but I have tested this board with my Whirlwind ROMs in it, and it does test just fine. So the MPU and the soundboard were sent in, and the problem statement was that there was no sound. So what I found with the soundboard was that somebody had placed a socket where the RAM position is, and the RAM that was installed there was dead. So I replaced that, and it's all good now with the sound out of this board. Somebody had also recapped it. The only thing I did to this board was replace the RAM after I'd done some diagnostics to make sure, for instance, that the 6809 was working, etc. The MPU board was another story altogether. It didn't look like there was much corrosion on it, but once I got the battery holder off and started looking at it, and I'd rolled in a picture of U41 and its socket before, there was quite a bit of corrosion, so you can see where I had to clean that up. And where it looks like there's bare copper there, that's conformal coated, so that will no longer oxidize over time. So I replaced C30 in the reset section, replaced 1J17 as I always do, installed NVRAM. There was some corrosion here also around W3 and R5, so I fixed that. And then there was some corrosion around this 74154, and I removed it, put a socket in, and it works perfectly now also. So let's test it. And you'll have to bear with me on these displays. So here was the first thing. All of this music comes from the soundboard. So sounds pretty good. That is Taxi. Display test. And again, we can't really test with this ROM set in here. You can see the top side is working perfectly, and the bottom side does too with the right kind of ROMs in. So I'm going to skip forward.
Hey! Million! Taxi! Ho, ho, ho!
Someday I need to get a Taxi. Lamp test. Showing all the lamps working properly. Single lamp test. Goes a lot faster than Data East does. Working properly. Coil test. And this is my new solenoid tester I picked up from a fellow on Pinside. It goes by the handle Dumbass. And so you can see it's working through each of the coils. And now it'll go over to the special solenoids. And they don't fire in order. And that completes all the solenoid testing. I can test the switched solenoids by pressing each one of these buttons, which is really nice. That's a big improvement over the way I used to do it. You can see that those are working properly also. And the next test is switch edge. So I'll work my way down column 1 and across row 1. And the last test, or last switch on Taxi is switch 58. So those are all working. And we go through the audits. Let me get to the adjustments while I'm in here, and I'll set it to free play. Wow, there's a lot of audits in Taxi. Here we are. There we are. Now hit the credit button. We'll change that to yes. You can kind of see that yes came up there. And it installed that. And we're good to go. There it is in free play. So this board set is good to go. I'm going to sit down tonight or tomorrow morning and get an invoice ready. I thank you, Tyler, for sending it and allowing me to get it back in tip-top condition. Just for completeness, with Whirlwind ROMs.